Good evening. I'm Fairly Theta. This is the Witching Hour, and tonight we're chasing the Green Fairy.
Sounds like a real drip.
What?
It's dripping.
Sitting so straight.
Yeah, well, this is the beginning of the video. I feel like I'm looking at an apparition.
Is it a pleasant one, at least?
Yes, it is. You look haunting. You look really good. I really like it. It's
Thank you.
spooky.
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 You look spooky. How do I look?
You look phenomenal.
Ooh, thank you. I got my wedding shoes on.
I have my wedding shoes on too.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that, wedding shoes.
I didn't see your shoes under your wedding dress.
Well, my wedding dress was very long, so... Although I did hold it up literally all night to dance.
Yes.
So you had plenty of time to look.
Well, I was looking into your eyes. But these shoes were a big hit at the wedding.
They absolutely were. People were Instagramming just those shoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have just sent my shoes.
Well, you were a very unconventional groom. You walked down the aisle, waving to your fans. That's probably my favorite wedding picture that we have.
Hey, look, people came long ways to our wedding. I gotta give them a show.
My dad and I were waiting at the top of the stairs, and you were like, oh my God, already? Like, it's already starting? And as soon as you hit the staircase, you were just like turn it on for the crowd. And Dad was like, well, that was fast.
So what bad idea are we doing tonight?
We're drinking all the absinthe.
How many bottles of absinthe?
We have 4 different absinthes, and we're gonna try all of them.
We actually have 5 things to try tonight. I'll surprise you at the end. What we would have spent on our honeymoon hotel, we put some into these bottles.
So we aren't having a honeymoon, we're having an absinthe special.
For you! Alright, so we got our...
Absinthe fountain.
Okay. Why do you use it absinthe? I haven't had anything yet. I haven't even had anything.
Because it's incredibly tedious to pour water that slowly. Go with the Oregon Spirit first.
Ooh, okay. So this is Oregon Spirit.
It's got a beautiful label.
This is 120 proof.
Yeah, it is.
So that's why the fountain.
That's why the water. So we're gonna set this up. Take our absinthe. We turn on the drip. You want to go as slowly as possible and have the water as cold as possible. You're creating the louche, which is the essential oils really coming to the forefront and solidifying, so you taste them a little bit nicer. They kind of blend together better that way.
Really pretty though. Yours coming along.
Mine never louches quite as much as yours.
Maybe the spirits take more kindly to me.
Yeah, they're tired of me bossing them around. So absinthe is technically a spirit. Made with wormwood, green anise, and fennel. The wormwood itself, if you actually look at the scientific word for it, the name for wormwood is Artemisia absinthia. It seems to come from a Greek word meaning undrinkable.
And we got 5 bottles.
But more interestingly, actually, wormwood itself used to be burned as a protective offering. So there's a lot of speculation that it actually comes from an older word, probably something in the Indian region, that means ritual. Very interesting that there are so many rituals around absinthe, and this is absolutely one of them.
Stir it with the spoon?
You can give it a stir.
Okay, so now, I don't know. It almost looks like a milky white.
They usually do. Yeah. After louching, absinthes are more of a white than a green. The lime greenness is kind of a surefire way to have a dyed drink.
Is there cheers or is there a...
Nice driveways.
Oh yeah. It's definitely nice and bitter.
This is a very bitter one, but it still has that very sweet, like licoriciness to it, that very sweet anise to it.
So the sugar cuts the bitterness?
The sugar cuts the bitterness. Actually, one of the earliest known uses of wormwood in liquor, medicinally, was served with honey on the rim so that it would be drinkable, because undrinkable.
Like and subscribe. We don't say that enough. And her new workbook. I'm very, very proud of you. And you did a fantastic job on that workbook.
Thank you. Actually, the earliest known absinthe was wormwood leaves that had been soaked in wine and given out as like a tonic medicinally.
Wow.
So, but it was served with honey on the rim. So wormwood is appropriately named because it was originally used as a vermifuge, which means it was an anti-parasitic, but it became widely used as a digestive tonic. It makes sense because think about other like really bitter spirits and drinks. They're all aperitifs. They're all digestive, like, you know. However, it's also used as a nerve treatment and has been known to be used to cure fever and also as a treatment for depression and insanity, which is interesting.
Are we going to talk about the lore surrounding absinthe?
Apparently, one of the first recorded recipes for absinthe, that wine and wormwood leaves that I talked about, was called Absinthius oinos. And from what I know of divination, it seems to share a root with dreaming and the art of dreaming. So it leaves me to wonder whether absinthe did have any connection to prophetic dreaming back in ancient times. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of literature about that I've found. I'm sure someone out there is better versed in occult texts than I and can tell me exactly what book that's in. I don't know it.
Leave a comment below if you're that one person in the entire world that happens to still be living and watching this video.
You would be shocked at the circles I run in.
Is wormwood actually psychoactive?
No, it is not. It isn't the hallucinogen that people think it is. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the composition of it as we kind of go through some of these bottles. I will say that the main chemical compound that separates wormwood and absinthe from other spirits is called thujone. And thujone has been studied extensively as possibly the source of the hallucinogenic attributions of absinthe. And it's actually chemically very similar to caffeine. So basically, when you're drinking absinthe, even though you're getting wasted, because this stuff is seriously high proof, you're still very much aware of your mind and you're still able to think and function. And that's why it was so favored, among other reasons, which we'll talk about, but with artists, because they were able to very clearly think and be inspired and perform their craft while still getting totally sloshed. So,
well, this is our art. This bottle I picked up, and it is oh so green. Clearly printed on like an inkjet printer, this label, and it was also like $17.
Well, it clearly wants to be Pernod.
The small bottle, I think this was like $35. This was $17. I'm more afraid of all the dye in this thing.
Ingredients are certified color, FD&C blue number 1.
Wait, these are the first ingredients? Oh no.
And FD&C yellow number 5. Neutral spirits, natural flavors.
All right, if anything's gonna kill us, it's gonna be this one.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, that is so green.
It looks like ectocooler.
It does look like ectocooler. The sugar cube is totally lime green right now. Surprisingly, there's some louche going on in here. I don't know why yours.
Yeah, that's really peculiar. Why would that be?
It doesn't like me as much.
But, no.
I'm too spooky. So let's talk about the composition of absinthe. The thing about absinthe is that it became wildly popular. That's because it was really cheap to make.
Oh.
And that's because it's neutral grain spirits with some herbs. As long as you have the 3 top herbs, you have some absinthe.
And now it's like $60 a bottle.
Yeah. This looks poisonous.
Yeah.
All of those posters of people drinking absinthe and the Grim Reaper hanging over them, this is what they were drinking.
It smells good.
It smells like fennel.
Yeah.
Like it smells like those sugared fennel seeds.
Yeah. Sugar and strawberries.
Sugar and strawberries. It goes down too easy.
I feel like I should be like, oh, clearly this is trash.
But you know
It's
what?
Delicious.
It is delicious in the same way that potato chips are delicious. All the things that are terrible for you, pretty damn good.
We have hint of lime Tostitos.
We have a hint of lime Tostitos.
What time is it? Hey, Boop.
Hey, Boop. Yeah, no, this is dangerously easy to drink. Do you see how complex the Oregon Spirit was now? A whole bouquet of botanicals. This is straight up top of the tongue, anise sweetness.
Yeah. Which one are we doing next?
We're doing clandestine.
The blue one?
The blue one. And let's talk about the Absinthe band. This is another very old brand.
Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o.
Oh no! Do we need a corkscrew?
Yeah. I'll grab one. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
This
How's it smell?
smells incredible. It smells a little bit like paint,
Oh my! It does smell a little bit like paint.
but I like it.
Wow, this smells so peculiar.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited to drink this thing that smells like paint. So back in 1905, in Switzerland, a man tried to kill his entire family. It was blamed on absinthe. Turns out, the man was a raging alcoholic. He had consumed like 7 bottles of wine and several other liquors before having 2 glasses of absinthe in his home, then turned on his family.
So it wasn't
but
the absinthe.
it was not the absinthe, but it was enough for the general public to decide that absinthe promoted degeneracy and should be banned. There was a petition that went around that collected something like 85,000 signatures, which for the time was a lot. The thing is that wine did not really like that absinthe was so popular.
Big wine?
Big Wine was not
Vine.
happy.
Big vine.
Well, the thing is, there was no Big Vine at the time. Wine was viewed as a very provincial thing. You had wine with dinner. You had wine that you probably made yourself at home. But the wine industry was beginning to bud in earnest, and it didn't like how popular absinthe was. Absinthe drinkers had kind of a reputation for being of the degeneracy. And that's where you have figures like Toulouse-lautrec, and Van Gogh, and all of these other artists that get lumped in with this absinthe drinking bums. Toulouse-lautrec was
Sounds like a wrestler.
he'd probably like that comparison, honestly.
Yeah.
He was an illustrator of La Belle Epoque. He was a poster artist, mainly. He was a very talented artist, but he was from a noble family, and they didn't much like that he did commercial art, and he kind of hung around with the wrong people, you know? I think maybe 100 years later, 200 years later, he would have been considered like a beat. Rumor has it, his cane was hollowed out to fit a vial of absinthe inside, and he had like a trained monkey that he would also drink absinthe with.
Stop it.
I don't think any of this is true, but
Oh,
these are
I want
the
it to
rumors.
be.
I know. Oh yeah. So I just want to go back in time and drink absinthe with Toulouse-lautrec and his monkey. This all links into this brand. One of the first brands that learned how to hide their absinthe. Because absinthe was made with green anise, it has that very distinct kind of greeny yellow color. And they found a recipe that worked with wormwood to produce an absinthe that was not green. And they managed to create this even through the absinthe bans of many, many, many countries.
This has a blue tinge to it.
A little bit, yeah. It's very ethereal. This looks like it would be served at seances.
This is gorgeous.
This really is. The clear brands of
Do they call them
absinthe
clear absinthe?
were known as the blue. Calling it the blue makes it this like reminiscent of the void. It's very unknown.
Sugar and strawberries.
Honey on the rim.
Honey on the rim. Oh, that's just really good. Wow.
That's incredible.
I don't even know how to explain this. It's like drinking a cloud.
It has almost an effervescence to it.
Like a cloud. I liked my analogy.
I like your analogy.
Thank you.
This might be the difference of the green anise. If the coloration comes from these very bitter green herbs, removing them makes this far too easy to drink. And it's Swiss, so...
Neutral grain spirit. Go on.
I think this could be really good if we did this in what they would call the Czech absinthe ritual, where you set the sugar cube on fire.
I am excited for this next one.
Yes.
Because it has a monkey on the cover.
Its complexity comes from the use of fine brandy, star anise, mint, wormwood, lemon balm, hyssop, basil, fennel, tarragon, and stinging nettles. A lot of those are herbs for purification. This smells like a great floor wash. Like, I'd add this to the floor wash.
You're getting a little...
Woo! So the other interesting thing is that this is brandy based, which means it's a grape alcohol. Van Gogh was another figure that's kind of infamously linked to absinthe. In fact, I think he has his own brand at this point.
He finally got that deal.
Not why he died. He did not commit suicide because of absinthe. He had pica, and he ate a lot of his own paint. So he went crazy because he was eating heavy metals in high doses. Other infamous absinthe drinkers, Oscar Wilde, was known to enjoy absinthe. In fact, he wrote a pretty famous written account of what it's like to be drunk on absinthe, where he talks about feeling tulips brush his ankles while sitting at the bar. And Aleister Crowley has a very interesting pamphlet essay called The Green Goddess. And I purchased this at an occult bookstore when I was 13 years old. It is the least Crowleyan essay you'll ever read because it's very distracted and very funny. But it's a really interesting essay of him waiting for a woman at a bar in New Orleans talking about the inspiration he's received from absinthe. It really kind of just cements its importance in the arts and the occult.
Monkey on the back.
Oh, wow. This is really complex. The word that immediately came to mind is nosegay. A nosegay was a very small bouquet that you would either pin to your lapel or you'd give to someone in gesture. It's a very like Victorian, like flower language gesture. The reason that that came to mind is because it's like all of these individual herbs and very floral notes that clearly communicate something. I love tarragon, and it's not an herb we use a lot. I use basil in like everything. Even in spell work, it's like my go-to herb because it's incredible for abundance and money and blessings and protection. It's just a really good herb to have around.
Oh, so question I want to ask you. The green fairy. What's up with that?
The idea that absinthe has always been thing that you chase is something that is aspired to. And I think that goes back to the fact that those active chemical compounds keep you very much aware, feel a little bit less inhibited, but still very much in control of your faculties. And it became this kind of muse. So the green fairy was the term used for the muse of absinthe.
Would you like your surprise now?
Yeah, I would. Yeah. It's in a green bag.
Yeah, it's the only green bag we had.
It matches your shirt perfectly, actually.
This is what I'll be picking up Opal's poop in later. Okay, so this is not exactly an absinthe. In fact, it wasn't even with the absinthe. I happened to come upon it serendipitously. This is...
Standard Wormwood spirit.
This is agave.
So it's Wormwood tequila?
It is. Opal, later.
Whole agave jorida, smoked with mesquite and oak for layers of spicy vegetal.
Is it like Vegemite?
It's usually vegetal means that it kind of tastes like decaying vegetables.
Well, it's appropriate that it was in a poop bag then.
Kind of did smell like Vegemite, actually.
Yeah? So, what did we put on the rim here?
That is a chocolate sea salt.
Love you.
I love you. Thank you.
I knew you'd like this one. Wow. I taste the mesquite. It's very earthy, but it's not oppressively earthy.
It's not chthonic. It's...
Big word.
This is just kind of bitter mezcal.
Spirits up.
Spirits up.